Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today inshallah I'm going to record a quick tutorial video about our upcoming math final exam inshallah. So I'm just gonna explain briefly about each lesson. So let's start with 5.1, which is about understanding ratios. So in this lesson you must know how to write the ratio in 3 different ways. And you must know how to read the ratio, tell what does it describe, and you must know as well how to finish, how to find the missing number, how to solve word problems related to ratios. So let's begin. So here we have a science classroom. It has 5 turtles and 7 frogs. What is the ratio of frogs to the total number of animals? So they're just asking you to write the ratio of frogs. You have to highlight the question, to highlight what the question is asking you before you start solving. So they want the ratio of frogs to the total. So let's count the frogs. I think they mentioned in the question how many frogs we have. We have 7. Okay, 2. We use a colon to write the ratio to the total. Now the total, guys, it's not mentioned in the question. The total, you will have to count all the animals that's been given to you. So you start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the ratio of frogs to the total, that will be what? 7 to 12. Now, some of the questions will ask you to write the ratio in 3 different ways. So one of the ways to write a ratio is to use a colon. The second way is to use the word to. Sorry, excuse my handwriting. Is to use the word to. And the third way is to write it as a fraction. Okay, so these are the 3 ways that we use to express any ratio. Okay, let's now go to this question. This question, it may seem difficult, but it's actually, they just want you to express it using words. What does 14 to 30 describe? So you guys, all you have to do is just write, it describes, what does it compare? As you can see here, we have Rita's class has 14 girls and 16 boys. So I know that 14, it's very clear. So you'll just have to write, it describes the number of girls. As you can tell, it's very clear that 14 represents the number of girls, or it compares, because a ratio, it's a comparison between 2 quantities. It describes the number of girls to the, now you have to discover what 30 means. So as you can tell, the only way we could be getting 30 is that if we add boys and girls together. So the total will be 14 plus 16, that will be 30. Okay, so it describes the number of girls to the total number of the students in general. You just can say it like that, or of boys and girls, as you wish. Okay, so let's adjust it. Sorry, you guys. Okay, so this is how you write the final answer, and that's it. Okay, so these are the first 2 parts of understanding ratios, how to write the ratio in 3 different ways, and what does the ratio describe. Okay, so when you get a question like that, you have to write it in the same way. It describes the number of girls to the total number of the students, or it compares between the number of girls to the total number. You have to follow the order. If 14 comes first, then you will have to write the number of girls first. Okay, now, so you guys don't forget the definition. It's really important. You need to know what is the meaning of a ratio. It's a comparison of 2 quantities. Okay, like we said here, we have frogs to the total number of animals. We have boys and girls. We have here blue cards and green cards. This is the meaning of a quantity. It could be anything. You're comparing between any 2 quantities in life. Okay, now coming to the third part, how we create a proportion to help us solve any ratio word problem. So here, as you can see in the question, we have the ratio of blue cards to green cards. It's giving to you as 2 to 5. Okay, And I know that I have, the question is giving me 8 blue cards. You need to complete the diagram and explain how can you find the number of the green cards. Okay, so you guys can do it by completing the diagram. I'm going to show you a way that works for any type of questions related to ratio. So the first thing you guys should know is you always take the first ratio and you write it as a fraction. So the question has given me, I have for every 2 blue cards, I have 5 green. So 2 over 5. What I did is I just wrote it as a fraction. Okay, 2 blue, you can write here blue, use B for blue, and use G for green to help you just identify, set the units properly. Now, on the other side, I know that I have 8 blue cards. So you have to match the units correctly. Yani 8 blue cards, where should I put it? Shall I put it up as the numerator or shall I put it down? So you need to match the units. Blue must face the blue, okay? So I'm gonna put 8 opposite to the blue cards. And down, for every 8 blue cards, how many green cards I have? I don't know, I will put X, okay? So this is how you solve a word problem related to ratio. You create a proportion by matching units. All you have to do, whatever 2 numbers you have at the beginning, 2 to 5, you write it as a fraction, and on the other side, you write what you know, and the number that you don't know, you replace it with X. Okay, now let's remove the B and the G. They were just here to help us identifying blue and green. And now we're going to solve the proportion. How we're gonna solve it? We will use the butterfly strategy. What does that mean? It means you just multiply the opposite numbers. You multiply the corners, the opposite numbers, the numbers that you know. We're not gonna go multiplying 2 times X. We don't know what's X. So we will multiply 5 times 8 and then we will divide with the one left behind, okay? So X will be equal to 5 times 8 divided by 2. So 5 times 8, that's 40, divided by 2, that will be 20. The final answer will be 20 green cards. Yeah, that's it, okay? So let's move on to the second question. So again, we're gonna apply the same way that we did in the first word problem. So we have Ty is making a trail mix with 3 cups of nuts for every 4 cups of granola. So again, like I said, you're gonna take your first ratio and write it as a fraction. So I have 3N for nuts divided by 4G for granola. You can write the full word, but for me it's kind of difficult. It takes a lot of space. So you guys, on the other side, what does Ty have? Ty has 6 cups of nuts. So I have the number 6, which will go in a front, which will go opposite to the 3 cups of nuts. Okay, why? Because you have to match the units. Nuts should face nuts, granola should face granola. And down, I don't know how many cups of granola I need, so I will put X. And that's it. And now I'm going to remove the N again, so you don't think it's a variable and we multiply it by mistake. Okay, after I created my proportion by matching units, now I'm going to use the butterfly strategy. Again, you will multiply the opposite numbers and divide with the one left behind. Okay, so X will be equal to 4 times 6 divide by 3. So 4 times 6, that's equal to 24, divided by 3 equals 8 cups of granola. You guys have to write the full answer. Okay, 8 cups of granola. So this is how you solve word problems related to ratios. Okay, so that's it regarding the 5.1 understanding ratio. These are the main ideas that you guys have to be aware of. How to write it in 3 different ways, how to tell what does the ratio describe, and how to solve word problems related to ratios by creating a proportion and then using the butterfly strategy to solve it. Okay, So here, students, I want to clarify something, that you can solve this proportion by just doing equivalent ratios. What I mean is you can ask yourself, mentally you can do it, 2 times what equals 8, that will be 4. 2 times 4 equal 8. So by default, you conclude that 5 times 4 will be 20. So some students do it like this way mentally by using equivalent ratios. You guys can do, you can solve this if you are good with multiplication as well. So you have 2 ways. Either you solve it using the butterfly, or either you solve the proportion using equivalent ratios. Okay, let's move on now to the next question. Next lesson, I mean, sorry. So next lesson is about 5.5, understanding rates and unit rates. Okay, let's again recall, what's the meaning of ratio? Ratio, again, it's a comparison between 2 quantities. Rates, on the other hand, it's a comparison between 2 quantities, but they have something next to them. They have different units. You need to be aware of this one. They have different units. Where the unit rate, they have units, but the denominator should be what? 1. It's a comparison between 2 quantities with different units where the denominator is 1. Okay? So as you can see here, we have the ratio, we say 60 to 2. But for the rate, we have to specify the units. We say 60 miles per 2 hours or in 2 hours. And the unit rate, if I want to get the unit rate from the rate, what operation I should do? I should use the operation division. I should divide. So 60 divided by 2, that will be 30 miles per 1 hour. Again, why the unit rate we should divide? Because we want the rate per 1 unit. Okay, we want the answer per 1 unit. Okay, let's now check the main highlights in this lesson. So the first part, they're asking you to write each statement as a rate. So in this question here, you guys, all you have to do is just Janso, 9 full moons in 252 days. You will just have to write it as a rate. That's it. So what did he see? He saw 9 full moons in 252 days. So the easiest way is just to write it as a fraction. 9 full. You're going to take the whole thing. Okay, full moons. I don't know. It keeps in and out. Okay, 9 full moons. You have to write the whole thing. Okay. You know what? I'm just going to delete this and write this. Okay, you'll have to put this one here and this one down. Please follow the order. Whatever comes first will go on top. Whatever comes second will go down. Okay? Next one, you will do the same thing. It took Hannah 38 minutes to run 8 laps. So 38 minutes, okay, over 8 laps. That's it. You write the full word, of course. So again, when they tell you to write the rate as a statement, you'll have to put the number with the unit, write it as a fraction. Okay. Now for the second one, they're telling you here to find the unit rate. So like I said before, to find the unit rate, we should use what operation? We should divide. Directly you think of division. That means they want the answer per 1 gallon. So how am I going to get it from 16 to 1 gallon? You guys will have to divide. So the easiest way is to divide, exclude the 0. The 0, just copy paste it in the answer. And divide 32 divided with 16. So how you can do this? You can do long division, or you can just skip count by 16. 16. If I add another 16, I will get 32. So that means to get 32, I need to add 16 2 times. I need to skip count by 16 2 times. Okay? So that is my final answer. It will be 20 mile per 1 gallon. Okay, so guys, remember this. To find the unit rate, you will have to divide. Of course, you know, the numbers will be directly, inshallah, from the timetable. So make sure that you are able to do the multiplication table really well. Yeah, know the multiples. Okay, now let's move on to the third part, where you have a word problem. the third part where you have a word problem and they ask you to find the unit rate from a word problem. So how you're gonna do this? We have here a bathroom shower streams 5 gallons of water in 2 minutes. They want you to find the unit rate of 4 gallons per 1 minute. So you guys, all you have to do here, the same thing what we did. We're gonna write 5 gallons. Okay, you can write it as a fraction because the fraction also represents division in math, divided by 2 minutes. So we all know 5 divided by 2, or you think of it, any number that you guys divide by 2, think of it as you're taking half of it. What's half of 5? Half of 5 will be 2 point, again, it's doing the same thing, 2.5 gallon per minute. Okay, so this is the final answer. You should write it as a sentence or you can write it as a fraction. But you have, again, when they tell you to find the unit rate, please specify the units. After you are done with division, you have to write the units. Gallon per minute or in 1 minute. Use any term that you want as long as the keywords are written. Okay? So this is how you find the unit rate from a word problem. Okay, last part in this lesson is to fill the table. Now to fill the table, you can ask yourself, look at the two numbers that you guys know in the table. I know 9 and 18, okay? I want to see, he reads 9 pages in 18 minutes. Okay, I want to know how many pages he reads in 1 minute. Or for example, the first way actually, let's go ask yourself, 9 became 18. How did 9 become 18? By multiplying it with, you guys all know, it's times 2. So all you have to do to fill the table, is just think, what number times 2? Okay, what number times 2 will give you 1? What number times 2 will give you 10? And what number times 2, okay, will give you 15? Okay, so this is the first way. For this question, it's kind of tricky, but for the study pack questions that I gave you, it's way easier. You can use this way. So think, again, all you have to do, take two numbers that you know from the table. One should be up, one should be down. Or sometimes you can take them horizontally. It depends on the table itself and what number works with us, okay? And check what number you guys multiply with 9 to get 18. Then you apply the same rule on the rest of the table, okay? But for this case, like what number times 2 equals 1? What number times 2 equals 10? I think it's a bit challenging because as you can see, the numbers are getting smaller. So that means in this case, we are dealing with decimals, we're dealing with fractions, we're dealing with parts of the whole. So the second way that I'm gonna show you is to find the unit rate, okay? So I know that he reads 9 pages in 18 minutes. In 1 minute, he reads how much? So we all know to find the unit rate, you guys should what? Should divide, okay? So 9 divided by 18, that will be half. Okay, 9 divided by 18, that will be half, which makes really sense.